Hey, good morning, y'all. My name's Matt Mueller. As Evan said, I'm for sure not the most important person in the room here, but I'm excited to be here with y'all this morning to talk about the future of Hudl and the future of Hudl hockey. I've been at Hudl for going on 19 years, so basically since the beginning. And I'll give you a little bit of background on that. But before I get there, I think I want to pull out something that Evan said that's really important when we do these events. It's about the networking. You know, we're going to stand up here and we're going to give you presentations. You're going to see some stuff. You're going to learn, hopefully, a few things from all of us. But really, it's about getting to know each other. And look, I grew up in the church. I have a whole host of people in my family that are pastors. And so I spent a lot of time in church. Now I chase my kids around to youth sports and I never make it to church anymore. And I think probably a lot of you are the same way. You know how it goes. But there's something they do in church that I love that starts the networking piece. So maybe why don't we just get up, walk around the room for a minute or so and just go introduce yourself to somebody. Walk around, say peace or say hi and just let's get after it. So, if you've ever been to church, you remember what this is like. You get up, you say hi to somebody. So let's take a minute and do it. How's it going? I love it. I hope you felt the energy. I hope you met somebody new. And if not, go find them later. Again, this is what it's all about. It's meeting people, talking, learning from each other. And so we're really excited to have you all here today and get into that. As I mentioned, I've been at Hudl for 19 years. And I love all sports. That's why I've been at Hudl. I love to hook in and learn a lot. I can't skate, so you'll never see me out doing real stuff. But my claim to fame on hockey, I will tell you this, is the Lincoln Stars, not necessarily an NHL team, I think that you know. But in college, I hit a frozen runza, if you're familiar with that, like a frozen cheeseburger, into a goal, and I got free runza meals for life, which I think when they meant for life, they meant for like the 3 years I was in college or left in college. But still, it's pretty great as a college student to get free runza meals every week. So, that's where I came into hockey. But, broadly at Hudl, we started Hudl to save coaches time. You got to reset your brain back. We started Hudl in 2006, and DVDs were the primary format of delivering video at the time. I'm sure all of you dealt with DVDs in some capacity or another. Netflix used to ship you DVDs in the mail at this time. If you think about 2006, YouTube was just acquired by Google. Like they were running separate. Google actually ran their own separate video platform. Digital video wasn't really a thing. And when we looked at how teams were using video, and I'll save you the long stories, I'm happy to share them later, it was just really inefficient. It was really inefficient to burn DVDs. It was inefficient to send them. It was inefficient to scout your upcoming opponents. It was really hard to get recruited on both sides of this, to get recruited as an athlete to the next level, or to find that athlete that was a real fit for you. And we looked at this as a huge opportunity to come in and help save coaches time and make them more efficient around everything they do with kind of a crux around video and data. And so as we started to push on that, we grew from this to looking at how we could build a connected workflow and ecosystem around video and data. And so, this is in my career at Hudl. When Evan says, I'll give you some background on myself, I started as an engineer and I got my undergrad in computer science, but this is never really what I wanted to do. But I helped build our first real public website, and this is what it looked like. And in 2009, when we launched this, we thought this thing looked awesome. Now I make fun of this a lot. There's a reason I'm not a designer. But I show this for two kind of core reasons. The first is you can see the early thoughts of Hudl, like how can we simplify and build this connected ecosystem for you to bring video and data together, simplify it, find those key moments fast in the analysis, and then find a way to share and communicate around that, whether that's within your team or externally to other parties. Everything has been built around building this connected ecosystem so that you can be more efficient in all of your workflows, right? And so obviously we start by talking about a few of those things, and you're going to hear a lot of those today. But the core of Hudl is always about finding those next workflows for you, trying to find a way to make you more efficient and do that. The other piece I'll show you that's a kind of funny joke I tell people is this number at the top. This used to ring through to my cell phone 24/7, 365. And you can imagine the feedback I got from my wife when I would be getting calls from coaches at 3 a.m, trying to figure out why their video wasn't working right or what was going on, or if they could just get a Hudl account. So we have a better team to handle those calls today, thank God. But fast forward to who we are today. I think people, you get blinders on for your sports and on purpose, right? You live and breathe what you do every day, but I think people lose how big Hudl is. We're the largest sports technology, and 100% focused on the most important workflows in sports. So what I mean by when I say that, we're much larger than really any of the other vendors you deal with. So we have armies of people that are building in multiple workflows to serve you. We have an entire team of people in the room here that are going to help you with different areas of what you do, and we consistently throw more high quality people at you to help you have a great experience with our product, right? And we are laser focused on sports. We're not in here trying to build medical software. We're not trying to do stuff for education. There's a great markets and people need to serve those markets, and it's really important. That's not where our passion is. Our passion is around helping teams win, right? And so how can we help serve that whole sports ecosystem? But something that gets lost sometimes on the other side of it is we've built this connected ecosystem that spans, from pro teams from the NHL down to the youth hockey team that plays, the 9U hockey team that plays in the Lincoln Stars, the Icebox in Lincoln, Nebraska, that we're serving them with video and data. And yes, it scales differently. It has to, right? Like an 8-year-old hockey player doesn't need the same kind of stuff that a professional NHL player does. But we have built a system that is connecting those workflows together, and that scales up and down. And across the world, we serve over 320,000 teams. We're in 180 countries. We serve more than 40 sports. If you ask me to name them all, I will struggle mightily. I can't do it, but I can get to some of the core ones. But we are serving multiple different workflows across this piece. And my hope is that as I go through this, it's not just like, oh, wow, vanity stats, Matt. But it's really about, hey, this is how we're building this ecosystem, and I want to give you some of those reasons why this matters for you all in the room today. At first, I'm going to start, though, at the high level. Evan gives you the NHL numbers, and those are really important. But we are really the global standard when it comes to sports technology. 100% of the Premier League, 100% of the MLS, 100% of the NBA, 100% of the WNBA. Almost everybody in the NHL buys a product from us. We talk about sports code, and we're going to get to that. But when you start to layer in, the fast model products and sports code and Instat, like we are leaders across the board here. Now, when we say this, like, does it mean every hockey team uses us at college? No, not yet. But we have a paid relationship with them, serving multiple sports usually. And why is this important? We are the global standard for sports. So when you're out there thinking about learning our products and what this means for you, we are the industry standard solution in the way that other companies are in other software markets. So you think about Salesforce. If you know people that sell software, right? Go talk to your front office and the people are selling tickets. They're using a CRM. Salesforce is the platform for that. And people who know Salesforce, if you're just selling, you have to go know how Salesforce works. If you get into construction management, you need to know Procore. That's just they're the leader in the space. I'm not going to go through all these companies for you all, but we are that for sports. So when you are getting a job in sports, you need to understand how our workflows work. Not just because as a user, you want to know it, but if you want to advance in your career, whether it's as a coach or into a front office position or into something else, maybe into another administration position, understanding our workflows is going to be really important for your career development. And I think that's an important piece that we've tried to help people understand is, obviously we're a business, we continue to grow, but our hope is that this becomes a benefit to you broadly in your career, not just in day-to-day workflows. Okay, so I'm going to say an obvious thing to you all. Sharing video and data is core to sports. This is it is just part of what people do, right? Whether it's within your team or when you think it's across markets and you're looking at other leagues, whether you're up and down and looking at recruiting, sharing video and data is core. Why does that matter? Because it leads to centralization. Over time, what you're going to see is one single winner come out of this. It's a winner-take-all market because your workflows will be more efficient if all the video and data is in one spot, right? So then the tools can hook into that to help you build your coaching plans. The scouting information can come out of that in one system. So this is the march that we believe is that we know sharing video and data is core, and so we know that this is moving towards a winner-take-all position. We've built the platform already, and we're moving down this path. In different sports, we're further ahead. If you look at global football or soccer, you go back to that market penetration slide, we are the leader top to bottom. We've got ECNL as the largest club soccer organization in the US. They're mandated to put their film inside of Hudl. Why? Because it helps feed the recruiting ecosystem that is mandated for exchange at the collegiate level and feeds global scouting. Why does the EPL, the Bundesliga, why do they want to have all their content in our system? Because it's one central platform and we can optimize workflows around that. So when I give you this background, put this in your brain and say like, okay, Hudl is doing this in multiple sports. What does that mean for hockey? Well, you probably already know where this is going, right? But we believe that this is going to one central ecosystem that is going to make your life easier and give you more content, more data than you've ever had access to, and then unlock new insights for you. And you might sit here in this room and say like, wow, this guy's crazy. I don't like, it's never going to happen. Like, there's too many players and maybe, but I'll tell you, like, when we showed up and started telling coaches that they were going to move away from DVDs and put video on the internet, A lot of people told me I was crazy too. And we're like, hey, look, this is the way things are going. We know this. And so, look, I can sit here and say this as a sales pitch, but I think you all should be excited to be in the room because you're on the front edge of this. You're going to help us guide the way we take this in hockey. You're going to help us build the right solutions for this stuff as we move forward. You're going to help us look at the way we should optimize workflows. So to me, I look to all of you and say, please help us build towards this vision. We know this is the way it's going to go. We're going to go down this path anyways, but we do it a heck of a lot better if you tell us how to do it and help us get there. So to give you some viewpoints on why this happens today or why we're in this path, we operate really at just levels of scale that are just crazy. We've built our own automated capture systems. Some of you have tested them out. We've just rolled it out with a new hockey algorithm, I think, here in the last month, and we're continuing to improve on that to automatically capture hockey matches at high quality video. So look, there's other people in the market that are capturing video. You can debate the quality of that. I'm not here to do that. What I can say is we want to deliver things at high quality and do really great data production on it. But why do we build our own cameras? I'll give you some pointers on, or some thoughts on this and why we go through this. It's not just to give another product to sell to you all. It's because we put a ton of horsepower in our cameras. So we actually use an NVIDIA chip in our cameras, and we can process multiple 4K video feeds at the same time on the edge on those cameras with unprocessed, uncompressed raw video. Why does that matter? Now we have crazy level of pixel density to do things like pose detection, to do things like, how can we talk about high level speed and frame level accuracy that you can't get from compressed video that comes up through the cloud. So we can do this in near real time live on the edge. And as we roll out our algorithms for this for multiple sports, we're bringing this to hockey so we can start automatically tagging matches at an incredible level of data. We have a team of analysts. I will tell you that we have the team of analysts spread across Egypt and India. It's going to be about 5,700 people this year. So volume doesn't scare us. We've built a system that can process games at a really high clip and do things at a really great level. But we're excited to bring in AI and start to unlock new levels of data so you can win today's game today. You can't win today's game tomorrow, right? So how can we help give you those insights in the moment live, whether it's in Sports Code or in our replay system or in other tools to give you that stuff. But that's also going to unlock new levels of data down into the youth markets. So think about this for being able to have insight onto how fast someone can accelerate on their skates, to be able to look at how someone plays when they come down the ice and see what they do and have more objective data on an athlete than just watching maybe them in person or watching them and saying like, hey, legitimately, this is a better fit for our scheme or our team than this player, even though this player's stats are better, and giving you more insight into these players. As we build these cameras out, as we roll out our data system and connecting it all top to bottom, our goal is to give you the same platform to consume this data, to evaluate this data, and then continue to make more access available to you. And then the other side of this that we're really excited about is unlocking Hudl as an AI assistant coach. Now, for y'all in this room, you can debate the efficacy or the necessity of this, but you start to think about youth hockey. You think about what we can provide for teams there. They don't have the depth of coaches to do this. Think about a youth hockey coach or a club hockey coach. They're probably doing a full-time job on the side, right? They're in the community doing something, and they coach out of passion. They coach because they want to give back to the community, but they don't have 20 hours a week to go in and do detailed insight on athletes. They don't have the ability to get in and give them this really crazy level of detail on, hey, this is the way you should have worked. And so we actually just rolled this out for club soccer in the U.S. A couple months ago, and reception of this has been really positive. And so we're bringing this over the next year to every sport, where we can take the data we produce and give not only game insights and summaries on games, but down into specific player level details for coaching. Why is that valuable for you? That means every kid is going to have high level coaching at an incredible level of detail that they've never had before. So then the athletes should come out even more prepared. As they start to reach your level, they'll have better detail and better coaching. And even if the coach looks at this stuff and says like, hey, I would tweak this message or this is slightly different, if we can put that in their hands in 30 seconds after a game, now they have the time to go through that, right? They can go through and do player-by-player evals and move things to the next level. But we're really excited about what this means from a scouting perspective as well, so that we can start to automate some of the scouting production for you. So when we think about this, it's not just, hey, we're building this tool, it's going to be great for youth hockey. It's, hey, what if we can come in and say, like, you're looking at a player. That takes whoever's in your front office, or maybe you all, hours to go through and do an eval on somebody. You're going to go watch film. You're going to do some other information on them. You're going to bring all this together. But what if we could shortcut all of that and move that to a really high clip where it's, hey, you click a button and within minutes, you have a report that's sitting there. Yeah, you might have to tweak it, but it's there for you. And the baseline 3 or 4 hours of information is done and provided for you right away. This engine is what's going to provide the power for that. So when we look at stacking at Hudl, and why I think it's important that we can build on both the youth side and the pro side and everywhere in between is that we are looking for these S-curves that stack on top of each other. How can we bring content together? How can we bring new data and insights together that unlock value not only for youth hockey, but unlock value for elite hockey as well? And so it helps you with your, bringing better players that are more prepared for you, but it's also going to help you shortcut some of your workflows, right? Take these hours out of your week, or maybe it's somebody else's job, and simplify a lot of those processes. And so we're excited about where this is going. And now look, I'm not sitting here telling you that coaches are going to get replaced by AI. I'm not telling you that, that there's not other challenges you're going to face. What I am telling you is that if I can give you more time in your weeks, or Hudl can give you more time in your workflows, in your week, that is the one resource that none of us can create more of, right? You can probably always go to your owner and ask for a little bit more cash. You can probably go ask for something else, but you can't create more time. But if we can help you create time, you can do more things there. And that becomes really important in helping you unlock, whatever that next level is. And maybe it's just time to go home and decompress, or hang out with your family, or go have a beer. Or maybe it's doing that next scout that you couldn't get to and helping you get a little bit further. And finding those things and stacking these S-curves, that's really where we think about this stuff. And now look, you might think of this as, hey, Matt, really cool presentation. That all sounds like future stuff. But it's like, hey, let me, everything I've talked to you about today, we have irons in the fire, but I want to tell you more of them, right? The things that we're doing today to help advance the whole sports world and how that will apply to hockey. Look, we are building full sports solutions for all sports. Why is this important, right? I have a baseball image up here. I'm at a hockey conference. The reality is we learn things from other sports and we find ways to bring that together, but we can test things in certain sports that become really valuable and that we can bring together in different ways. So one of the examples that we're working on baseball right now is 6-angle live capture and being able to process that video and do things with that data on the bench in baseball. There's I know when we talk to some teams, they want to have a lot of different camera angles for review in hockey. Some teams are cool with just one. But as we look at, hey, what does a 6-camera angle solution look like? How fast can we deploy this? What does that look like? Baseball teams are like, yeah, we're in. Infield, outfield, both dugouts at the batters and both pitchers, right? Like they want to look at that. As we build these solutions, we're saying, hey, this is cool. We don't build baseball solutions. We build a solution that we can take and scale to everyone else. And look, this starts with sports code. I think all of you know this. You're in the room because you use sports code. But to give you like the sense of this, over the last 12 months, there's been over 500,000 live capture sessions and over 6,000 people in the world capturing content. So this is an incredible level of scale that we've delivered with this platform, multi-angle capture. And you're going to get Prod here later today that's going to actually talk to you about some of the future workflows that we're putting into this. I was laughing with Evan today. 10 years ago, when Hudl acquired Sports Tech and Evan joined the Hudl family, Evan did a nice job of taking me around to users, and instead of being nice, they would shout at me for a while about how bad sports code was. It crashed. It doesn't do this right. The features don't work right. And now we don't hear that. Now it's about, hey, what's coming next? Like, what workflows are there that are going to help us push to the next level? And so we're excited to spend a lot of time with you all, innovating and finding ways to improve, not only on your live replay sessions, but in the way that you can use video to just be more efficient at your workflows, the interconnectedness to other parts of our scouting ecosystem, and some of the new features that we've rolled out and that we're continuing to roll out here over the course of the next few weeks. I talked about data. I think data is really important. If you go back to the history of sports video, and I don't want to have a boring sermon up here, but the world of, hey, it was DVDs, or maybe some of you were around or know people who had to go do advanced scouts where you didn't get to actually be at your game. You had to go watch somebody else and write down notes on a sheet of paper and then come back and share it. When you think about where video has come from into the digital world, now we are talking about advanced position, think about X, Y, Z coordinates of every player when an action happens, as well as the puck. So not only was this a shot and was it a good shot, it's like what else could they have done on that journey, and how fast can we deliver that kind of information to you live? The pieces where we're starting to deliver this now are in Instat, right? You get the feel of what Instat looks like for us. When we brought Instat into the Hudl family, it was about bringing in this vision of we need a place to deliver video and data to you at higher levels of depth than we are currently doing? How can we bring this and connect it into the ecosystem? I'll be honest with you, Instat, the product was not in a great spot when we bought it, and we spent a lot of time getting it to a better spot. We're not done, and we haven't been perfect on hockey, but we're going to make it better. We're spending a lot of time working on that. We've got Adam Jaffe in the back of the room, who's, I think, part of his job is just figuring out how we can simplify a lot of these processes and make things easier for us to get video and data to you faster, more accurately at higher levels. But we're really excited about the continued platform investment that we can make here to deliver more to you, and how simply we can integrate that video into sports code. When you're looking ahead at where we're going with this, we've got lots of fancy charts and graphs, and I'm not going to expect you to be a data scientist to dig into this stuff, but you can see where we're starting to unlock where position level data plus event data, so think about where a player is when something happens on the ice, can start to unlock new levels of insight for you. And then us being able to say, like, this is what happened leading up to that moment, and start to give you trends and new ways to visualize data. We're doing this in global football or soccer and in American football now with our StatsBomb and Hudl IQ products, but we're excited to continue to bring that level of data and sophistication down through our whole ecosystem, and everything needs to be connected to video. So when you see a chart and I want to go see something, it's not just, hey, I understand this data is here on this flat PDF. I want to be able to click through and see how that connects and brings more value to me. And so we're super excited about what we can do with that. Human performance, when you think about what you're investing in your athletes and how much that works. The phrase I like to use here is an athlete's best ability is their availability. If your athlete's hurt, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter how good they are on the ice. It doesn't matter how good they are with the stick. It doesn't matter if they're sitting on the bench and they can't play for you. They're not really valuable. And so being able to educate your players, being able to bring this data together and pair it with video, as we start to roll out Hudl Signal to teams, and being able to bring that together with our WeMove product that's out here really taking the cutting edge of human performance and pushing this to a whole new level. Now we're starting to give you insights into how you can train your athletes more effectively, how you can prevent injury, but also how can you go learn by bringing that event data, that kind of team performance data, I think game performance data, together with human performance data. I'll give you some examples of how we see this playing out, and forgive me for not having a hockey one, but I love these two examples. The first was we were dealing with a college football team that was using this, and they were lower level, but they couldn't figure out why they weren't scoring points in the fourth quarter at the same clip they were in the first three quarters. And they were trying to look at their players, and they're like, hey, look, what's going on? Like, is it play calls? Are we not executing right? Are we just not, running at the same speed? And what they started looking at is the load that they were putting on their players through the course of a game day. And they found that 3/4 of the load they put on their players was actually in warm-ups. And then the next quarter was all just during the game. So they were burning their guys out by the fourth quarter. So they completely adjusted their warm-ups. Mid-season, completely adjusted the way they got ready for a game, the way they moved out, the warm-up drills they did. And suddenly within a week, their scoring went back to their normal average for every quarter because they weren't burning their guys out. So when you can have that kind of insight and say, like, hey, what's going on with my team performance data and what's going on with human performance data, you can unlock new insights. I don't know if any of y'all are basketball fans. The other one I love to tell, we met with, I'll tell you the names just because I think it's kind of fun. We met with the Chicago Bulls earlier this year talking through how they think about human performance and what they were doing. And they showed this graph. And they're like, hey, here's the load of NBA teams and their starters throughout the course of a season. And everybody's bucketed kind of together. And there's one team off on the top right that they were just burning their starters down aggressively. Maybe you know this if you follow basketball at all, but the Knicks just play their starters for like 44 to 48 minutes a game, like on average. And the Bulls sat there with us and they're like, look, here's what's going to happen. They're going to get to the playoffs. And their guys are going to die. Like, you just can't do this to your starters all season long and have this happen. They're like, we don't know when it'll happen, but it'll happen. If you follow the NBA playoffs at all, the Knicks-Pacers series was incredible, but the Knicks were up double digits like late in the fourth quarter in every game and lost. They were up 13 with like 2 minutes and 10 seconds left and lost the game. How do they do that? Well, their guys ran out of gas. And you start to look at you watch their players. They couldn't close out. They couldn't run the same first step on offense. That's the kind of information when you can start to pair video and data together that you can see trends and push things to a whole new level. And so when we think about what this looks like for elite teams, it's bringing in this live analysis, pushing it through Signal, and giving you that video integration, not only into sports code, but giving you the way to look at that online with Hudl Signal. And it's going to be really powerful. And so we're excited to continue to push this out. This is available now. Like, this is not like, hey, magic future hockey solution. Like, this is the way we think and see things moving. And when you think about bringing your video and data together into one central spot, having this all together in Sports Code is going to be really powerful, and having it all on the Hudl platform. On the other side of this, one of the things that we've seen is that there's a natural floor. Many of you came up from junior teams or college teams and didn't have access to this stuff, right? There's a floor to where human performance can get to because the expense of the sensors, the depth of knowledge you need to have. Hudl's just made an acquisition of a company called Titan Sports that has a solution that is really geared towards club hockey, youth hockey, and high school sports in general. And so we're really excited to roll this out and start to bring this same level of analysis. Now, why does this matter for you? Again, I want to continue to bring this same level of analysis and comparison so that you can say like, hey, here's a couple of junior hockey players that make a lot of sense for us. They're not ready now, but in 5 years, we need to keep our eye on these people because they have all the right trends and all the things are going the right direction for us as we bring this together in this broader scouting ecosystem and give you this information together. And finally, powering the talent pipeline. I've mentioned this a little bit already. As we think about rolling out what that AI engine could look like for you in the future, we want to help you have better insights. We want to help you build the best teams possible. You know, the phrase we use inside of Hudl is we want to give every athlete the shot they deserve. There are athletes, there are hidden gems out there who are getting missed. There are players who are getting contracts they probably don't deserve. And the flip side of that, there are players who probably should be getting more for you and they just don't know how to tell their story. And part of that is you as an organization being able to find those gems and bringing them in, whether that's in the draft or whether it's in free agency, finding those people or the collegiate level, being able to look down into youth hockey and recruit the right kids. We are really excited to continue to bring this knowledge and information forward. As I mentioned, we're rolling that AI engine out. We're actually running some tests like this week on football data, but we're excited to roll this out here in the near term for hockey, where we can say like, hey, here are AI-produced scouting reports that are customized, that take a look at your team, the way you think about things, the things you care about. And so it's helping you identify players that maybe you would have missed before. And so as you think about what Hudl is providing, as you think about the stuff that we're going to present to you today, you're going to get a lot more in the weeds appropriately, right? Like you're going to hear about Sports Code, you're going to hear about Instat, and those are exciting things that are going to impact your day-to-day. But why I'm here and what I get really excited about is that we are shaping the future of hockey, and you all are going to help us shape it. So please come find me and help me think about how we can bring this together into one platform. We have thoughts, like platform-wise, I have smarter product people than me. I mentioned I was an engineer. I'm not an engineer anymore. They don't let me write code. But we have great people that are much better at doing that stuff than me. What they don't have is the detailed hockey day-to-day experience that you all have. And so we're excited to continue to build our team and experience with that. But we need your help getting here and building the right solution. Because ultimately, we want to help you spend more time on what you love. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's time with your family or just watching hockey or watching other sports or decompressing and watching a movie. I don't know. But we want to help you do that by giving you all of these features, right? By continuing to build this connected ecosystem that you don't have to think about, how do I get this video? Now I got to put this data on it. Now I got to do this analysis. Let's help you with that stuff and get you to the stuff that you want to get after. And so I will get out of the way here. I think I've hit right on my 30 minutes. This is what Evan pays me for. I'll be around all day today. So again, my name is Matt Mueller. I'm so excited to be here. We're really grateful for you all being here and excited to, for the day that we have planned for you. But please come find me and share any thoughts you have, or hey, this is the way we want to make things go. I'm excited to hear it. This is why we're here, and we got a whole team of people in the back that are excited about this as well. But thanks everybody, and I'll kick it off to the real prezos. He's going to put me on the hot spot. If you have live questions, I'll take them.
If not, that's fine, but I want to make sure that after every presentation, if you guys have questions or even feedback, I'd love to hear it.
Can you?
Yeah.
I was just going to say, sorry, Matt, can you maybe talk about how the sport-specific change that you guys have made in the past year to the structure within Hudl? Because I think that's really actually benefited the clients by going to a hockey-specific college basketball and so on.
Yeah, thanks, Brew. The big shift we made on let me back out and say, one of the things I look at is how we grow across the world in multiple sports. If you're not careful in America, there's one of our board members used to be at ESPN, and he says there's only 3 sports in America. There's football, football, and football. Now, you can debate that statement, but we don't want to be that company, right? We're not just an American football company. I think we care about it, but it's not what we want to do. And so part of my job is to look and say, hey, where are investments happening in multiple sports? How are we growing the hockey business? How are we growing the soccer business in the US? How are we growing, wrestling? And so we made a big shift on our elite organization, and I can't take all the credit for this, but we sat down and I said, like, we're not putting enough focus on hockey. Hockey's a great market. There's a ton of use of data and video. There's a really engaged user base. Like, what are we doing? And so we sat down and we restructured our whole organization around, in North America, specifically around having these sports-specific verticals. So Evan used to be on a team with other professional sales reps, so the NBA sales rep and the MLS sales rep, they would kind of focus on that. Now he's on a team full of hockey people. Why is that important? Well, now it makes it easier for us to bring this together. So we have a whole focus on hockey. We have a whole group of people, we call them pods internally. Brew, you're part of that for the next week, to help us tackle this stuff and bring all of this together and serve hockey customers more effectively. So the hope is that you all feel more engagement from us and more availability from us than you've ever felt before, more focus from us, because we do really care about hockey and it's a really key sport for us. And so we wanted to show that reflection in the way we structure our team as well. Yeah.
Is there a way to get like an in-stat analysis from my mark games, like from my marks, or is there talk of doing that? Like, say I upload my game with all my marks, and we can get that in-stat type analysis from your own marks.
Maybe. I'm not quite sure. I think you're basically saying, like, if you had your own data, like you tag the match on your own, you code it on your own, you want to upload that in Instat and not have our team there go back through and recode it, but use the platform online for. Yeah, not yet today, but there are ways to deliver that in source code, I would say, in the near term, and then on Hudl. What we're doing over time, I think it's really technical, so forgive me, but like, we are building a centralized repository where we bring all of that video data together, and then your front end will feel similar across all of those things, so that you can actually have Instat marks side by side with your marks over time, that you could come in and do that own analysis. So you can say, like, hey, in my own library, I want to have this available, but maybe I want to pull in the Instat data, which gives me some extra things. But your visualizations, your reporting, all of that structure over time, you won't have to think about it as like Instat and sports code, and it'll just be like, hey, I just go onto the Hudl platform and I get what I want and I work from it there. So we're bringing all of that together. It's not available yet today in the Instat platform, but that is the vision of where we're going, is to do what you want to talk about.
Real quick, like I said, we encourage questions, and so this has become a tradition at our conferences. These are little Hudl scratcher tickets, and so if you have good feedback. Also, the first people to sign up also get them. So kept track of this. It was supposed to be the first 5, but you guys all signed up so quickly that it was the first 6 people that got scratchers. So give these out real quick. Where's there? And where is you guys? There you go. So thanks for signing up right away. First day sign up. So there you go.
Yeah.
Good. If you guys win on your scratchers, don't tell me that it's come see me.
With Instat, do you guys ever see that you guys will get to the same, I guess, speed as, say, ScoreLogic to get that data as quick? Like, not necessarily the junior games, but like NHL games, like basically, period ends or like heavy games going on, you can pull stuff from ScoreLogic. But you guys, is the plan to like get to that level in terms of Instat? Because Instat's easy to use. But.
Yeah, I would say, I'll try to answer your question maybe in phases here. Is overall AI, AI, everyone talks about AI, whatever, but like the legitimate value of what Hudl has in this giant database of data, or of video and data tagged, is that we can actually train AI models faster. And we believe that AI is going to move towards near real-time data production, and it's why we invest so much in our cameras, so that we can continue to push that stuff forward. So our goal would be to deliver near real-time data at incredible levels of depth on the edge. We're doing this in some sports already. In soccer, we've got an incredible broadcast level tracking algorithm that's running, but the basic components of it, like tracking athletes, like those things are shareable. And so we're actually just I just saw a pitch come through yesterday on doing this for ice hockey, and bringing that model to ice hockey. Why that answer matters is, like, we know that that's where it's going. The different, I'm not going to say like SportLogic's not working to improve their algorithm or anything like that. At that point, it just becomes access to content to us. So some people could beat us because they get it live in the stadium versus a delayed feed from from the league office. But the goal would be that once we have the content, we're running our live algorithms against it and moving forward and providing that in whatever mechanism makes the most sense. So that's the vision of where we're heading for sure. Whether we're there in the next 6 months or the next 2 years, I'm not going to stand here. I've learned I'm smart enough not to commit to timelines on that stuff because I used to commit to that, and then my engineers would shout at me when I would come off. But we do know that that's the path, and that's the direction we're heading for sure.
Thanks, Matt.
You bet. Thanks, everybody.